What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton, cycling, and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday, and today's video is a continuation of the Pump Up the Volume Volume 1 review. Pump Up the Volume is a collection on Peloton that's very similar to a program, but I guess you have a little more freedom of when you take the classes. But the idea is progressive overload. So every week we do very, very similar workouts, but we make them a little bit harder. You either increase weight, you increase reps. And I think that this collection is really interesting because you switch between instructors. So week 1 was Rebecca Kennedy, week 2 was Jess King, and this video, which is weeks 3 and 4, is Adrian Williams and Jermaine Johnson. So this week is Adrian Williams. I love Adrian and JJ. I honestly love Rebecca Kennedy and Jess Sims. Like, this is a solid lineup. And I actually think it's really fun that you switch between instructors, mix it up a little bit. This is very kind of reminiscent to split training for me, but you get a little bit of variety because you're not taking the same exact class over and over again, but you are doing very, very similar moves. So today we are doing week 3, day 1, which is a 20-minute lower body tagged intermediate by Adrian Williams from October 3rd, 2022. And yeah, I mean, I anticipate pushing weight. I have been noting down what weights I've been grabbing, and I plan on going hard today. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out week 3, day 1. I feel like Adrian really amped it up today. I did take basically a week break from strength because I went home to Pennsylvania. So I don't know if that's part of it, but today definitely felt hard. I did push myself, but I also think we did get less recovery than typical, but I also think that's part of the progression. So it was a good class, but it was a hard one. Adrian said to grab light, medium, and heavy weights. The light weights are just for the ramp up set, so it's not even worth it for me to grab those. And for the medium and heavy, last week I did 20 and 25, and I'm not gonna lie, I was planning on doing 20 and 25 again, but then someone at the gym was using the 25 pounds. So then I grabbed 30. I knew that the heavyweight is only used for deadlifts, so I know I can do 30 pounds. And honestly, once I started doing it, it wasn't that bad. So overall, it was a good thing that someone was using the 25-pound dumbbells to really push me up to the 30 because I could do it, and now I know I can do it, and now I know I need to do it next week. But we started off and we did our straight sets. So we did 30 seconds of RDLs with our light weights. I used 20 pounds, and then we had 30 seconds off, and then we went into 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off RDLs with our heavy weights. He said to aim for 10 to 12. With 30 pounds, I could do 12. I really don't know what I'll do next because 30 pounds is the heaviest free weights that my gym has. I do think that I can just do more for now, but that is a problem for another day. It was a good straight set, but man, I feel like I could really feel it then for the rest of the class. The 30-pound deadlifts did not feel that hard in the moment, but I do think that my legs were tired then for the rest of the class. So after the straight set, we had a 1-minute rest, and then we did 30 seconds reverse lunge straight into 30 seconds lateral lunge on the same side, and then a 15-second rest and the same thing on the other side, and then a 15-second rest, and we did that entire set again. And I found this really difficult, actually. I used 20 pounds, but there was just very, very little recovery. And then when you're doing the reverse lunge and the lateral lunge, you're just targeting the same side. So it was effective. It was hard. My heart rate was skyrocketing. It was 150, which is very high for strength for me. But we got through that set. We were aiming for 10 reps, and I was just barely hitting that on all of them. Even for the lateral lunges, I had to take 2 to 3 seconds in the recovery to finish the 10. I wanted to do the 10 though, and I'm happy. Then we had a 1-minute rest again, and we went into single leg deadlifts. And previously we had been doing that with 2 weights, and I believe I was using 20 pounds. Adrian said to use 1 heavy weight, And he's like, it'll be harder because you only have weight on one side. And he was right. I did use the 30-pound, but it was definitely hard. I was definitely going a lot slower than I typically do. I mean, my single leg deadlifts are slow to begin with, but I was going even slower. They were in 30-second increments, and I don't even know what we were trying to hit, but I was hitting like 6, which I'd rather do them slower and do them right than do them faster and have bad form. And this set was also hard because there was no recovery. We just did 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side, and then repeated that again. So again, like not a lot of recovery in the set, which I don't think was true for the first 2 weeks. And then we had a 1-minute demo, again, break. And then we went into our little squat finisher, which has always been a, struggle at the end of a leg class for the past 2 weeks. But this week was 20 seconds of dumbbell squats, 20 seconds of goblet squats, and 20 seconds squat jump 3 times. So in 3 minutes, no recovery. And Adrian said to use your heavy weights. And I'm like, sorry, Adrian, I'm using my 20-pound weights. I cannot do 30-pound squats right now. And the squat jumps, I also didn't jump. I just went up on my toes. We were really struggling at the end of this class. And I had to hunch over my iPad to close out the class. And my legs were literally shaking. I can't remember the last time that happened, but props to Adrian for making that happen in only a 20-minute class. So he definitely amped it up today, but honestly, that's what I need. So it was good. I mean, difficulty, I would give it an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I was really pushing weight today, but I do think there was a lot less recovery, which really amped up the difficulty for me. Enjoyability, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. I do appreciate a challenge, but I do feel at the same time, I was counting down to get to those 1-minute breaks, especially during the reverse lunge and lateral lunge. I'm I don't know if I'm going to make it. This was a push, and that is enjoyable, and it's enjoyable after the fact, but I don't know how much fun I was having during the class. But overall, good class, and Adrian is really showing he's going to bring it this week. It is now 2 days later, and I actually wasn't that sore from day one, which is always a good thing. But today we are ready to tackle day 2, which is a 20-minute upper body class by Adrian Williams, Tagged Intermediate from October 3rd, 2022. And again, I kind of know what to expect because I've done the first 2 weeks, but I'm ready to push some weight, ready to push some reps. And I really believe that Adrian will bring it today after last class. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out this class. That was another good class. It is interesting how class to class it does differ a lot because I feel day 1 of this week was so much harder than the previous day ones, but this class was very in line with what we did in the past couple of day 2s. So yeah, definitely thought it was easier than day 1 of this week, which was good. We started off, we did a warm up. Adrian said to grab light, medium, and heavy weights. I just grabbed 15 and 25s, which is what I've been grabbing for day 2s. I pushed up to 25 pounds last week on the chest press, and I was happy with that and wanted to continue this week. So after the warm up, we got right into it. We started with our straight set, used our light weights. I used my 15. And then after one segment of the wide grip chest press with the light weights, then we went into using the heavy weights 3 times, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. He said to aim for 8 to 10 reps. The first time I did 10 reps with the 25 pounds, and the second 2 times I did 8 reps. I was definitely on the struggle bus. 25 pounds for a chest press is a huge push for me. I am happy pushing out that weight, but yeah, I definitely could see myself do some more reps. There's no way that I'm pushing to 30 anytime soon. After that, we got into the next set, which was 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. We did it 2 times, and it was tricep kickbacks, reverse flies, and standing chest flies. I believe we were supposed to use medium weights for the tricep kickback and standing chest fly and light weights for the reverse fly. I just did 15 pounds straight through, and I feel 15 pounds feels really good for tricep kickbacks. I don't feel I could push up to 20, but I do feel very confident in that. Pretty hard for reverse flies. That's definitely the biggest push for me. And all right for the standing chest fly. So, we got some range. It was good. I believe we were aiming for 12 reps, and I was pretty consistently hitting the 12 reps. Like, that set felt pretty good. And then we had kind of our burnout set at the end, which was definitely harder, which was 40 seconds of bicep curls, then straight into 40 seconds of hammer curls, then straight into 40 seconds of an overhead press, 10-second rest, and then 40 seconds of tricep push-ups, and then 10 seconds rest, and we repeated that again. This was really hard, especially going from the bicep curls to the hammer curls with no rest. I think the idea is that you would do the bicep curls so fast that you would get rest, even though we didn't call it out. But that was not me. I was using 15 pounds, which is the right weight for me, but I do not do them fast. Like, I needed the whole 40 seconds, and I was even not hitting the call outs. I think he wanted 12. I think the first set I did like 10 to 12-ish, and then the second set I really started to fall and was doing like 8 to 10. And the tricep push-ups I also did on my knees, which he didn't really say you could, but there was no way I was doing them off my knees. This is definitely a huge burnout set. Like, the only time I got rest was the overhead press. I can do those pretty quickly. But yeah, man, that was hard at the end. And then the class was over. It was a fast one today. It always is. I feel like this class was just all right to me. I do think I like lower body more than upper body. But yeah, I don't feel like he did anything to like make this stand out from any of the other day 2 classes, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we got the work in. I definitely pushed myself, so I'm happy. And there's definitely room for improvement still. Like, I need to get my reps up. I think my weight is good for this class, but yeah, I need to focus on going faster. Difficulty today, I would give like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I do think there was a little more recovery in this one. The last set, there wasn't a lot of recovery, but at least the first and middle set, there was. Enjoyability, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I don't think it really stuck out to me as anything amazing, but it wasn't unenjoyable. It was fast, we got in the work, and then we were out, and that wraps up day 2. It is now 2 days later. I am ready to go and ready to wrap up week 3 with day 3, which is a 20-minute full body strength class, tagged intermediate by Adrian Williams from October 3rd, 2022. And I usually like day 3. I think Adrian will bring it, and I'm ready to go this morning. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out this last class of week 3. Another good workout. I think it was good, not great. My favorite Adrian class was definitely day 1 of this week, but he still brought it. The vibes were still good. We did our 2-minute warm up, and then we got right on into it. Adrian said to grab light, medium, and heavy weights. He had 10, 20, and 30. I did have a note that I wanted to push to 25 pounds on the front lunges today. So I grabbed 15, 20, and 25, which I think were the right weights. There was a lot of weight adjusting during this class, but I feel like I was doing a good job. Like, I was hitting the right weights for the right moves. So we started off and we did the bent over row as a straight set. I have been doing 20 pounds for these, and that does feel hard. With that being said, I did put a note for next week to try to push up to 25 pounds. I'm not sure if I can do it, but I will try. I have done 25-pound rows in the past, but I think mostly like alternating. The 20 pounds feel good at first, but then like as time wears on, I feel more and more tired. So, we'll give the 25 pounds a try next week, see how they go. But we did a warm-up set, which I did the 15 pounds with, and then we got into 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off, rows 3 times, and I used 20 pounds. And the goal was 8 to 10 reps, and I was consistently hitting 10 reps with like a little bit of recovery. So I feel like that is the sign that I should be pushing up to 25, even though the 20 pounds still did feel hard. But we'll see how next week goes. Then we got into our superset, and that was 45 seconds of front lunge, 15 seconds off, 45 seconds of alternating single leg deadlifts, 15 seconds off, and then 45 seconds overhead press, 15 seconds off, and we did that twice. And Adrian said to use medium weights the whole time. I was really adjusting here. I did 25 pounds for the front lunges. That felt good. 20 pounds for the single leg deadlifts. That felt good. And then 15 pounds for the overhead presses. And that felt good. I don't feel like I could have pushed weight more on any of these. And the goal was 8 to 10 reps, which I was hitting the 10. And then like midway through the second round, Adrian is like, oh, I mean 8 to 10 on both sides. Like, you knew that, right? And I was like, no, I did not know that. And that makes more sense why he says to like use your medium weights, because that would be like 15 to 20 to me if you want me to go like way faster. Like, I was getting some recovery, but honestly for the single leg deadlifts, I was getting none. And the front lunge, like not that much either. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still happier to do less reps and push the weight more. That's kind of like my fitness goals. So I was just a little confused there because I completely missed that. I do not think he mentioned it. Then the next little set was 30 seconds snatch, 15 seconds off. We did that 3 times. I used 25 pounds last week. I used 25 pounds this week. That's definitely a push. It's hard, but it feels good. I'm happy pushing to 25 pounds there. And then we finished with our little plank finisher, which was 30 seconds forearm plank, 30 seconds side plank, 30 seconds other side plank, 30 seconds forearm plank again, and then 30 seconds mountain climber. And yeah, I like that little like plank finisher. I like planks. I'm not a huge fan of mountain climbers, but for 30 seconds, I can power through. And then the class was over. 20 minutes really flies by. Today was a good day. I'm happy that I pushed weight a little bit on the front lunges. It felt good. It felt like a good push. Difficulty, I would give like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I do feel like, maybe I didn't follow all of his instructions because I totally missed that we were supposed to be doing basically double the reps in the second set. But I felt like it was reasonable. I felt like there was like a decent amount of recovery. And then enjoyability, I would give like an 8 out of 10. It's always fun to see like a little bit of progress. And these are all moves that I like a lot, which now that I'm expecting it, I feel like it's a little less special, but I do like all the moves that we're doing. So, that definitely makes it a more enjoyable class. And I like Adrian. And that is a wrap on week 3. And I'm very interested to see how JJ wraps up the entire program in week 4 next week. It is now 4 days later. My apartment gym closed because they were upgrading cardio equipment. And I was really excited. I was like, maybe they'll get all Peloton stuff. And surprise, surprise, they did not. But the gym is back in business now, so I can resume my strength training. And we're ready to get into week 4 today. So today we'll be doing week 4, day 1, which is a 20-minute lower body class, tagged intermediate by Jermaine Johnson from October 10th, 2022. And I haven't taken a class with JJ in a hot sec, and I really like him. So I'm excited. It should be a fun one. I know where to push myself, where to push for weight, where to push for rep, and I think it'll be a good day. So let's go to this new gym, hit the mat, and knock out week 4, day 1. Another good day 1. This one definitely felt easier than last week. I don't know what it was about last week, but the day 1 felt so hard. This one was good. I also just love JJ, so it was just a fun class. But pretty much right away, he's like, we're going to push reps in this class rather than weight, which was good for me because I had just pushed up to the 30-pound deadlift, so I knew I didn't want to push weight on those. But we really did push the reps. So there was a 2-minute bodyweight warm-up, and then JJ, I think, just said to grab medium and heavy weights. I grabbed 20 and 30 because that's what I used last week, and I wrote that felt good. And then we got right on into the deadlifts. We started off with our 30-second warm-up set, 12 reps with our lighter weight, so 20 pounds. That was all fine and dandy. And then we had a 30-second break, and then we got into the actual set, which was 45 seconds on, 12 to 14 reps. 30 seconds off. And we did that 3 times. I was using 30 pounds and I hit 14 reps every time. But man, was it a push, and actually my grip strength was going towards the end of it. I mean, I don't typically hold 30-pound dumbbells. Like, deadlifts are the only thing that I hold them for. So now I know I need to work on that. But besides that, it felt good. I got the deadlifts in, definitely a push, but it's what I want to be doing. We're pumping up the volume here. So yeah, I was very, very happy with that set. And then we went right on into the single leg deadlifts, which, man, that's kind of killer. Usually we do the lunges and lateral lunges first, which kind of gives you a break. But we just stuck with the hinge movements. We went down to one heavy weight. So I did one 30-pound and we did 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. We did it on both sides and then we repeated it once. So we did it 4 times in all. We were aiming for 10 to 12 reps. I was just hitting 10 here. Single leg deadlifts for me, they're not hard per se, but they just take me a long time. Like I go very slow when I'm doing them, but they felt good. It was definitely a challenge again to stick with the 30 pounds and just have come off the deadlift set. But you know, we got through it. And then we did the reverse lunge for 45 seconds, lateral lunge for 45 seconds on one side, 15-second break. And then we did that on the other side. I went down to my 20 pounds for this. I do feel like I could go up to the 25 pounds for the reverse lunges, but then 20 pounds for the lateral lunges like feels hard. Like I don't think I could go up. And especially because there's not a lot of recovery, I still kind of think the 20 pounds is a good level for me. Here, I believe we were supposed to be doing 12 to 14, and I was hitting 12. The lateral lunges take me a long time. The reverse lunges, I was getting like 5 seconds for recovery, which I was taking. And I was happy because in some of the previous weeks, we had repeated that set, but we only did it one time, which that's probably my least favorite set in this day. So no complaints there. Then we got a 1-minute break and we finished off our class with our squat finisher. We did medium weights, dumbbell squat for 45 seconds, then 1 medium weight goblet squat for 45 seconds, then body weight squats for 45 seconds, and squat jumps for 30 seconds. And here JJ is like, oh, aim for 12, I believe, and then like you can keep going if you want to. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I do not want to. So I was getting some recovery, but then I made it up at the end and I actually did jump squats. I will hold for applause. I don't typically do jump squats, but I felt like I had good recovery and I was like, you know what, for JJ, I'll do it. And it wasn't great, but we got through it. It was only 30 seconds and it was only 12 or 15. I forget if we were supposed to push up on the last one, but we did it, we got through it, and then the class was over. So yeah, today was a good day, like no real complaints. I feel like we pushed the weight, pushed the volume, got in, got out. I love JJ. It was a good class. Enjoyability, I would give it like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I like the programming. I like that I know what I'm going to be doing. And if you can't tell, I really like JJ. And then difficulty, I would give it like a 8 to 8.5 out of 10. We were definitely pushing the weight today, but I feel like we got good recovery. And yeah, I like lower body. So I don't know, like it was difficult, but it wasn't like I was dying during it. So yeah, good way to kick off week 4, and I'm excited for the last 2 classes. It's now the next day and it is so dreary out in New York, but you know, perfect for another strength class. So we're just gonna go right on into week 4, day 2, which is a 20-minute upper body class by Jermaine Johnson, tagged intermediate, from October 10th, 2022. And yeah, at this point, we know the drill. We know what to expect. I love JJ. Should be a good class. I don't feel sore at all from yesterday, and it's using different muscles too. So it should be a good time. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out week 4, day 2. Another good class. JJ said we were going to push reps today. Honestly, I'm not sure if we did. It kind of felt like the same class as last week, but I could be misremembering. But I stayed at the weight that I did last week and it felt really good. We had a 2-minute bodyweight warm-up and then we got right on into the set. So the straight set for day 2 is wide grip chest presses. So JJ said to grab like light and heavy weights. I grabbed 15 and 25. That's what I've been using. We did our 15-pound warm-up chest press set, 12 reps in 30 seconds. And then we got into the 25 pounds where it was 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 8 to 10 reps. And man, I hit 10 reps for all 3 sets, but I like just hit it. Sometimes I had to go a second or 2 into recovery, but I really wanted to hit the max reps. 25 pounds is a huge push for me, especially doing it like with not that much recovery, but I'm proud of myself. Like I'm proud of myself with that weight, and we got through it. Then the next set was 45 seconds tricep kickback, 15-second rest, 45-second reverse fly, 15-second rest, and then 45-second standing chest fly, 15 seconds rest. We did that twice. I used my 15 pounds and it felt good. And I even remember at the beginning of this program, I thought that that was like really, really hard. It's definitely still a push, but I feel a lot more comfortable using that weight for these moves now. And it is interesting to think because even towards the beginning of this year, I feel like 15-pound tricep kickbacks was just this huge, huge push for me. And now I feel like very, very solid doing that. And I actually wish I had 17.5-pound dumbbells to push up a little bit. I don't know if I'm ready for the 20 pounds yet, but just the fact that I'm thinking about pushing up weight again on them is cool to see that like all of this strength training, I am getting progress slowly but surely. And then after that, we went into our last set, which was 40 seconds bicep curls, then straight into 40 seconds hammer curl, straight into 40 seconds overhead press, and then 10 seconds rest, and then 40 seconds of tricep push-ups. And we were supposed to hit 12 reps for everything except for the tricep push-ups, which was 10. And I find that really hard. For me, the hammer curls felt a lot harder. I don't know if it's because I'm weaker in the hammer curl muscles or if it's because just coming straight off the bicep curls, I'm like tired. But I got like 10 of each of the curls. I could do the 12 overhead presses, and then I did 10 tricep push-ups, but I was on my knees. And we did that set twice, and then the class was over. Again, 20 minutes, very fast. And yeah, I was happy with the work I did today. I feel like it was a really good workout, and I love JJ. He's a great guy. Fun class, music was good. So enjoyability, I would give it like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I feel like I've seen a little less progress in my arms over this program, but I don't necessarily think it's a program thing. I think it's harder to make progress in your arms because your muscles are smaller. So it's like a little less enjoyable because I feel like I've been doing the same weights almost the entire program. But overall, it's still a good class, and like it was a good, effective arms workout. I kind of like the 20-minute classes too because they are fast. Like you get in, you do the work, and then you get out. Difficulty, I would give like a 8 out of 10. I mean, during the chest presses, I was really, really pushing myself. And, you know, the curls, I also think it's hard to go straight into the hammer curls with no recovery. Like that whole set at the end is kind of like a little burnout set, not a lot of recovery. So definitely wasn't easy. JJ pushed us, but it was a good wrap on the day 2s of this program. And I'm excited for my favorite day to be wrap next time. It is now the next day, and I'm actually surprisingly not sore from yesterday. Usually I am sore from 25 pounds on the chest presses, but we're gonna take it as a sign and just keep on going. We're really wrapping up this week quickly. So today we'll be doing the last class in the collection, which is a 20-minute full body strength class, week 4, day 3 by Jermaine Johnson, Tag Intermediate from October 10th, 2022. And I'm excited. I love the day 3 moves. I love JJ. It should be a nice wrap up to the entire collection. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and knock out this final strength class. That was another good strength class. My only kind of gripe with this is that it wasn't really like a wrap-up class at all, which makes sense because essentially this collection is just split training over and over again by different instructors, but the same split training. But you know, a lot of programs and collections have benchmarks or like some way to see that you've improved. And I've definitely gone up on weight, so like I know that I've improved, but it's always fun when like, you know, there's a little benchmark and like you try to get as many reps as possible or something, and then you like crush what you did in week 1 and you're like, wow, oh my gosh, so much improvement. Which I don't really think that that benchmark is always like the most accurate anyways, but it does feel rewarding. While in this class, we just did what we did all the other classes, which was still good. Like we got a good workout in. I definitely pushed some weight today, so I'm happy. But yeah, it feels less like a program with like benchmarking, and it's just split training again and again. So today I knew what to expect. I had written in my notes that I wanted to push weight today. So I went in, made that commitment last week, so gotta follow through this week. We had our 2-minute body weight warm up, and then our straight set is bent over rows. Last week I used 20 pounds. I had been using 20 pounds this entire collection. And today I wrote go up to 25. So at first I only grabbed 20 and 25 pound weights. I did need to grab 15 later in the class. But I did the light set with the 20 pound weights, which I probably should have done the light set with 15 pounds, 12 reps in 30 seconds. I got through it. And then we got into 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off 3 times with the 25 pounds. Jermaine said to aim for 10 to 12, I believe. I was hitting 10. And I was like pretty happy with that. It took the entire amount of time, but it was really, really hard. The first set did not feel as bad, but then the second set I was like, yeah, this is harder. And then the third set, I was really struggling. The third set, he actually made it 45 seconds, and I believe we're supposed to push 12 to 14. And I still just did 10. Like, I was struggling at the end, but I am proud of myself for pushing up to 25 pound rows. That's definitely a huge, huge push for me. So it felt good. And then we got into kind of like our superset, which is 45 seconds front lunges, 15 seconds rest, 45 seconds alternating single to leg deadlift, 15 seconds rest, and then 45 seconds overhead press, 15 seconds rest, and then we repeated it 1 time. And I kind of forgot this set, so I forgot that for overhead presses I need 15 pounds, so at that point I grabbed the 15. I did 20 pounds for the front lunges and the single leg deadlifts the first time, and then I remembered I'd been going up to 25 for the front lunges, so then the second time I bumped up to 25 for the front lunge, always did 20 pounds for the single leg, and then 15 pounds for the overhead press. That felt good, but there was also the same kind of confusion as last week where he was like 8 to 10 reps. And the first time he was like, that's total. But then the second time he was like 8 to 10 on each side. And I just cannot do 8 to 10 on each side in the 45 seconds. But I was pushing weight. I did my best. We got through that set. Then we had the little snatch set, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 3 times. Stuck with my 25 pounds, which is what I've been doing. I do like a dumbbell snatch, so that was a fun little set. And then we ended with our plank finisher, 30 seconds forearm plank, 30 seconds side plank, 30 seconds side plank on the other side, and then 30 seconds mountain climber, and the class is over. And yeah, I just feel like then the entire collection is over. I mean, JJ is basically like, congratulations, and that was that. I do like the idea of like differing instructors, but I also feel like then the instructors are like not as invested in the program or collection as if it was their own. But overall, it was good. Enjoyability for this class, I would give like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I honestly feel like JJ's energy like might have been a little bit low, but it could also be me. I do feel like my mood impacts the class a lot. So yeah, I don't know. It was a good class though, like really no complaints. Difficulty, I would give like an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I was really pushing myself on the weight today, but I was happy with it. It was crazy to think that I did like half of this class basically with the 25 pound dumbbell, which 25 pound dumbbells like a year ago, I would never grab for anything, like maybe deadlifts, but nothing else. So it is cool to like continuously see this weightlifting improvement. It's definitely slow, but we are slowly improving. For overall this program, I did enjoy it. I mean, I've touched on this. It is just split classes like over and over again. I do think it's a little more interesting than taking the splits over and over again because you do get the different instructors. They do mix it up slightly and they all have like different music tastes, different personalities. So it keeps it like a little more interesting. But honestly, at the end of this 4 weeks, I'm like ready to move on from these moves. Like there's nothing wrong with these moves, but even I typically don't repeat the same splits over and over again. That's just not my kind of like workout and I get bored easily. But if you like these split training and you repeat them often, I would like highly recommend these collections. And I would do other Pump Up the Volume program collections in the future. I just feel like I need a little bit of a break now, but it is interesting that they have so many on the app. And I do feel like it's an easy thing. Like if there's not a certain strength program that I want to do, to just fall back to these. And I like these because it is like a long-term commitment. I definitely don't consider myself like a complete beginner at strength, but I don't feel super comfortable like planning my own strength workouts every single week. And I like that this is just like a 4-week commitment that you start and then you know what you're gonna do. It's also nice that it is a collection, so you kind of have a little more flexibility. Like for me, I went home to Pennsylvania, so I took a little bit of a break. The gym in my apartment building was closed for a couple of days, and like I didn't have to worry about like fitting in classes. I can kind of take them at my own pace, which I do appreciate. And I do think that if you had a guide, like there is benefit to this. They talk a lot about like, setting streaks and like using it with the guide. They do that in like pretty much every single strength program, which does make sense. But yeah, I do think overall it is worth taking, especially if you like are kind of stuck and don't know what else you'd want to take on Peloton. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've taken any Pump Up the Volume collections. If so, which one's your favorite? Because there are quite a few. I don't know if I'd like go into naturally 2 or if I would just try a random number or if I'd look at the instructors. I really don't know. So if you have any favorites, please let me know. I do know up next for me is Density Training 2 by Andy Spear. I am so excited. That collection came out like while I was already doing this one. So that is what is up next on the strength docket. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.